My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Aries. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your general love reading, your 5 card spread. But before I do that, I want to offer these 12 red roses as a token of my love and appreciation for your love, support, and devotion towards my channel and myself. I love you guys incredibly, and thank you all so very much. I love you guys. So, this 5 card love reading includes the first card represents you, the second, the other person, the third, relationship, fourth, the past, fifth, the future. Then I'm going to draw Vampire Oracle for you, and then a Favole, and then one card from Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria French deck. But let's get started with card number 1, which is for you. Oh my goodness. The Tower, one of our cards. Oh my goodness. Big changes. Ooh, unforeseen circumstance, perhaps. Maybe, it's like, I'm kind of getting mixed senses here. But let's first start off with the single ones. Now, for the single Aries out in this world, any kind of unforeseen circumstance could either be breakup, divorce, or a potential surprise proposal of some kind. Okay. Well, it's like, again, to each their own, but that's kind of what the card Moralistas has for, actually, I feel like that this is pretty much just also, is also for the ones who are in a current relationship. It's like you could be courting somebody, you could be, in the dating phase, but yeah, it's like you could be heading off towards maybe also like a breakup or divorce, and maybe an unforeseen or unexpected, how would you call, proposal, offering of some kind coming up. And again, I can't say when or how, but the point is, it just pretty much just has this like big change on the rise. But normally, it's like the tower is considered a negative card because, you see this storm, this dark tower that's pretty much just kind of breaking down. However, it could also be a beautiful silver lining, an unforeseen circumstance, that could literally, result in like maybe maybe a surprise like proposal of some kind. But even for the ones who are in a courtship, you could also be heading off towards getting married and stuff like that, any kind of surprise. But I'm going to have to look at the other cards because I feel like that, the tower, it's kind of a blessing in disguise kind of card. However, the problem is, it's like the tower will always remain the tower, for, the negative reasons, But let's see who the other person is or could be. Daughter of Scepters. Ooh, another fire sign. Maybe another Aries or Leo or Sagittarius. Yeah, the thing is, it seems kind of vague because the thing is, like the Page of Wands, the Daughter of Scepters is definitely like this voyage, this kind of quest. Now, is this person heading off over towards you, or is this person heading away from you? That's the main question, because the thing is, yeah, the problem is that, it's like, it seems very, of course, you probably know. So, it's like, that's why it's just a general reading. And, I'm just kind of getting mixed senses here. It's either breakup, divorce, or, this beautiful proposal where this person could be heading towards you and then you could be the one proposing, or maybe this person could also be proposing to you as well. And I know it sounds very vague and, but of course, you probably know more about, your current situation, because that's why I'm getting mixed senses here. It's not directed per se at each individual Aries for that matter. But yeah, it's interesting, do I able feel or sense any kind of, unforeseen, change myself regarding love or relationships? But then again, humans and vampires don't mix, but I don't know. I haven't really sensed anything for myself, but I'm just wondering if any of you out there have sensed, any kind of unforeseen, unexpected change on the rise. Because the relationship of what could be or is 8 of Wands. It's just, just so many, senses, it's either, something heading towards you or heading away from you. And of course, it's like, if hopefully, you're in a long-lasting, committed, beautiful relationship where it's pretty much that, this person is, heading towards you, and that you're going to get married soon, and that everything just works out where you both are just going to be traveling, and there's going to be some fast movement. But there's definitely a fast change on the rise, and that's kind of, this, yeah, the definite sense I'm getting, of course, it doesn't have to apply to everybody for that matter. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting that there's definitely some fast movement on the rise, and there's definitely traveling. Maybe you're gonna, well, pay travel overseas to meet this person. Maybe this person is gonna be traveling overseas or anywhere, or domestic travels. I mean, it's like, of course, it's to each their own, of course, but there's definitely movement on it, in the process. Because in the past, the world. Interesting. It's a fixed card. It's either, Scorpio, maybe a fellow fire sign of a Leo heading towards you, maybe an Aquarius or Taurus for that matter. But yeah, it's like either, you were pretty much just, okay, let's say that you're in the arts. Let's say that either you're in the stardom, celebrity, you're, somebody who really, enjoys the spotlight and stage work and stuff like that. The thing is it looks like that in this example, that you're the one that pretty much just enters into this world as being the emperor. Of course, you came out in the Aries or in the Tower, form. But the thing is that you pretty much came out in this world, and you're pretty much like this shiny beacon. And maybe you attracted so many humans towards you. But there's somebody that's really going to be putting in a lot of hard work and effort, and there's definitely fast movement in the process. Because in the future, Three of Grails. My goodness, there's definitely going to be some big celebration taking place with the Three of Grails. Woof. Okay, so I do sense like maybe, take it how it resonates. It could definitely be, that you're working towards a divorce, and that, that's pretty much, the end result, and that, that's what it will make you feel incredibly happy and satisfied, and again, to each their own. But what I see on a different note is that there's a potential marriage or at least engagement, on the rise. And that's what's actually going to be moving quite fast in your favor. Wow. That's why I always believe in, making sure I have all the cards ready and stuff like that before I have only just, one side of the story. But that's kind of, for the first phase of this reading, because Oracle wants to add. And as per usual, it likes to take thirst, craving, compulsion, and obsession. Oof, okay. There's somebody who's probably incredibly thirsty or hungry for you in other ways. But what this card is talking about is that, you crave or desire something, or somebody craves and desires you. Again, take it how it resonates, of course, but that's kind of what this card is talking about, is, you need to have some kind of fulfillment. You need to be able to quench that thirst. You need to be able to, to feed that hunger, so you don't feel like, oh goodness, I'm feeling restless, uneasy. It's like, it's kind of like filling the void, just, for a sense of completion and stuff like that. But of course, it's like with obsession, you want to be careful that people aren't obsessed with you. You want to be careful that there's no any kind of form of, that people are going to be stalking or harassing you, or, opposing any kind of, negativity towards you in other ways. And of course, if you have compulsive thoughts, everybody has them, but make sure that's, they just just remain in your, inside of you, in the sense that you don't immediately think, okay, I need to really start taking action. The thing is, like a vampire's craving is quite powerful. And I'll tell you something, because during the last, full moon in Capricorn, I got this intense hunger. Yeah. And the thing is, this was a hunger I hadn't, felt for many years. This was suddenly something that I was just so craving, and desiring. And so what happened was that, of course, like the Capricorn moon also falls into, my sign as well. So it pretty much is kind of, it started making sense to me, because if you have, whether it's a fixed moon cardinal or, mutable, sign or moon and stuff like that, it tends to affect, all of the other, signs, within the same category. So, yeah, I suddenly got this intense craving, and I was looking over at my human familiar, and I just, started just really thinking, oh goodness, I crave human blood. I'm sorry, if it sounds really morbid or macabre or anything, but the problem was is, it's like I really started thinking, oh my goodness, am I, starting to lose my taste for, other sources and stuff like that. So it's, and so, it's like, yeah, I mean, it was interesting that this card, came up, for Aries like me and stuff like that. Because, this was something I hadn't felt in many years. And so I was just thinking, okay, I need to look into this and stuff like that. So that's why, if you have any kind of like heaviness or something, that you're dealing with, or that you pretty much, will feel or think or anything, you might want to really look into that, just in case it isn't like a metaphorical vampire's hunger or thirst. Okay, so let's see what Favole has. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, there's hard work involved. So actually, I mean, I was correcting, the way I did these things, because technically the crosses aren't the fire signs, are actually the pentacle signs, and the masks are actually the fire cards. But anyway, either way, I see hard work being involved in this beautiful love connection, this potential relationship. It could be coming from the other person. It could probably come from you as well, where you pretty much just think, okay, it's like, but for the ones who are just single and who really have no desire in anything, I do see, that you're definitely heading off, achieving your own personal goals and your own endeavors, and that's where, the big change is going to be. And maybe, it's like you're going to be heading off towards, your own thirst and stuff like that, metaphorically speaking, of course. And of course, with the Eight of Pentacles next to it, I do see a lot of hard work, taking place, in your own personal life and stuff like that. Okay, let's finish off with the French Tarot card. Ah, Cavalier de Pieux. So this is like the Page of Wands again. So, for the ones who are single, or for the ones who are single heading off towards a relationship in a courtship phase, or the ones who are in a courtship phase heading off towards a new beginning, what I see here is that there's definitely this journey you're going to be heading towards, or yeah, just, heading towards and stuff like that. So either way, there's movement, there's hard work, there's the world involved, there's the, Three of Cups of a beautiful celebration taking place, there's hard work, there's thirst, there's cravings, there's desires and stuff like that, and there's big changes on the rise. And it's pretty much up to you how, this reading will, of course, resonate and stuff like that. So, but anyway, that's what I have for today's love reading for Aries. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I want to thank you all again. I love you guys incredibly. In a few days, I'm going back to general readings. I'll probably have the camera angled at the altar, next time and stuff like that. But anyway, it's like I'm always going to be here nonetheless. I think you guys are wonderful, amazing humans out in this world. I love you guys. So if you guys want a personal reading, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel, post in the little discussion box below that you want a personal reading from me, and I'll respond to you with my email. Other than that, I love you guys, and best of luck on where this journey may take you.